Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the first ever Game 4 Fearless in LTA North history.
Woo!
We thought it couldn't be done, but we're here, baby. Let's go.
We did it. It only took until the last day of May in 2025, but we did it. I'm hoping
Better
for a
late
Game
than
5
never,
as well.
Jatt.
There was this weird thought. I never verbalized it, but I feel like I mentally jinxed Dig. It was right before that third Drake fight, where I'm like, man, it really feels like this series could go either way. And then they instantly got slammed. So I didn't officially cast a curse them, but I thought it.
You even think about Dignitas winning your curse them? Wow.
Yeah, but if the idea is it could go either way and they just lost that game, that means we're getting Game 5 then, right?
It depends on this draft. I mean, we were just seeing how, based on the observable number of champions the Team Liquid have played in Split 2, there are not that many left. So they're likely going to have to stretch a bit outside their champion pool.
Keep your eyes on this final ban from Dignitas. If that's Cassiopeia, that means we will get another new pick for APA this split. He already pulled out the Victor, but Cassiopeia was the only one left out of all the champions he's played so far.
I know he's got Aurelion Sol. There's a lot of other mages he can play. I doubt we'll see a Cassiopeia ban because it's such a conditional pick, but it's definitely going to be a bit of... We're just going to have to see what he ends up pulling out. Look at the... I love the Fearless graphic that we have right now. It's very easy to see what mid lane champions have been played and what has actually been in that role.
Yeah, and same thing for Impact. Our Impact watch here. He did really well on the Renekton. That was
smashed.
Yeah.
You know, one of his best games all year, honestly, because it has been a rough year for him. So
Shen ban. I like
there you go. Just continue to just like whittle that down as much as possible.
Very specific requests on that sign. We'll see if it comes out though. I heart Srtty as well. Thank you very much for that one, audience member. Shen is the ban here, so that Cassiopeia is still available. See if Team Liquid find the comp, because like you said, Jatt, it is conditional if you actually want to pull that one out, so it will depend on what Dignitas also draft to allow that for APA.
I mean, in terms of generic blind pickable top laners, Gnar is still available. Lucian is a pick away from Yeon right here. It has been nerfed. The E cooldown was increased at earlier ranks, incentivizing you to max it second to get that cooldown lower. So still a good pick, but definitely a tiny bit weaker.
Yeah, let's see what the answer will be from Team Liquid. I mean, there's a lot of stuff available at the moment. Some melee synergies with Sejuani perhaps on the table here.
APA Tristana is always a choice that he's been able to go to in the past as a mid lane pick. He can play similar to Ziggs in terms of his map movements, just different laning phase.
Also important to note, Yuuji still in on the roster right now. That's been something we've been tracking. Again, because of the comments that Spawn made last weekend, we expected to see Umti at some point this series. If they win this, that would have been Yuuji in all 4 games.
Yep, Spawn is no longer trustworthy officially.
Hey, to be fair, he said that was the plan for last weekend, okay? Could be a different plan this time around.
Yeon Aphelios, I like this into shorter range AD carries. It will depend on what they can use to reach him. Like, basically, if there's a lot of things that can flank or like basically poke him down from long range, Aphelios isn't good. But if you end up getting these like front-to-back 5v5 team fights, it's still an absurdly powerful pick.
Yeah, and so that's why when you only see the Lucian on the other side, you can still surmise it's probably going to be a fairly short-range comp.
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to get, you know, like melee top, melee jungle type of thing. So there should be at least some degree of clumping there for Aphelios ults and stuff too. But the classic pairing here, the Milio, the new age combo with the Lucian. No surprise there. And you mentioned the Gnar as the blind pick that still sticks out.
Would not be surprised if that is locked in here for Srtty, as he's kind of fallen off that priority of getting him onto a counter pick. So there we go, the blind pick for Gnar. Blind pick Gnar, rather, for Srtty.
And CoreJJ just makes sure he can be an enchanter. So they're putting all the eggs into the Yeon carry basket. They have the tank jungler for setup, and they have a lane matchup that they like because it's enchanter versus enchanter, and they have the better scaling on the side of Lucian.
And for good reason. That has been the guy. That is the most consistent basket that they have. That is the highest returns of any TL basket has been Yeon carry. So now as we get deeper in, are there matchups that Srtty is scared of Impact counter picking him with? Because Impact has a Sejuani. And so you think of like crazy Gnar counter picks, they're kill-oriented counter picks like freaking Yasuo or Lillia. Those are not Impact.
No.
So
Jax is a good ban.
Yeah, there you go. That's way more Impact style there.
Another champion he's played in the past is just Mordekaiser. I
That's
don't
a
think
good point.
it's not that good into Gnar, but it might be something that he's just willing to slam in this game 4. But I also, Kobe, was he teasing you in the pregame interview 3 hours ago where he says, it'll be fun to go to game 5. I have some new picks too, he said.
Let's see him. It's going to be fun in game 4 too, buddy.
Casio ban. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, trying to limit APA's champ. Well, it was almost, if you want to argue the Poppy can be flexed to the top side, a lot of top lane focus right there. But APA will play something new. That is confirmed right now, or at least new for this split. We know that he's pulled out other things on stage, depending on the meta and depending on what the team needs from him. Now it's going to be something new for split 2.
Oh, come on.
Something new from Impact too. I can feel it.
I was thinking about the Gangplank. I didn't want to say it because I don't know with a range matchup in Gnar what that's like, but the Sylas locked in.
Sylas flex, technically, it is a really niche counter to have Sylas top in a Gnar. It's weak early. I've seen top laners love it because you can outscale once you steal the Gnar ult. You're just a beast.
Sure.
But more likely, it's a mid lane pick that APA has been working on. Generally blindable when this many mages are gone.
Yeah, you can't get quite as abused with all the ranged matchups, but this is something that it could be tough into. The Corki locked in.
Corki's good. I would have loved to see Orianna as well, just to match up against the Aphelios, but Corki will work for the laning phase for sure.
I want to see...
Whoa!
Okay, yeah.
That's why they did the Corki, because they have AD everywhere, and Lillia is solo AP.
But with that,
I do want to see the Sylas go top, though. You have a Sejuani. Like, your kill threat on Gnar is good. Yeah, this would actually be great. You move the Sylas to the top with the Sejuani threat on Gnar.
And the Trist mid.
And give APA...
Impact said he wanted to show us something new there. Sylas for Impact.
It actually is so good, because you have the chains to close the distance with the Sejuani. Definitely want to see that 2v2 in action.
First time Impact piloting since 2022 spring, I believe, if I heard production correct. It's been a couple of years, 2021 spring there for Impact. So that's 4 years ago. Was the last time the Impact pulled this out on stage.
It would have been on EG then, so it's been a while for Impact. And APA with the Tristana is a pick we've seen many times, and it's actually in a very comfortable matchup once Dignitas picked the Corki. Little bait and switch there, getting the Corki to potentially punish the Sylas mid to make an easy matchup for the Trist. But Team Liquid's going to be pretty happy with their draft.
Hey, and I'll say, whenever I see the Enchanter supports, I always think about who's going to start the fight elsewhere. Team Liquid have it with the Sejuani. I don't think it's quite as consistent with Dignitas' side. They're going to need the Gnar to get Mega or Lillia to find these either bowling balls or these kind of flash Q engages. So harder for Dignitas to start the fights on their terms. Maybe playing a little more defensive. Let Team Liquid come into them. But a reminder to all the non-subscribers out there, we will see you in 30 seconds. Everybody else sticking around. We have Team Liquid versus Dignitas about to load into the game. Team Liquid up 2-1 in the series, 1 game away from continuing a lower bracket, or rather beginning a lower bracket run, as they were able to mount last time around as well. Dignitas backs against the wall.
And Impact coming off of a very good Renekton game, now with the Sylas counter pick into the Gnar, has a Sejuani as his jungler as well. Lillia is basically always full clearing. Lillia also is one of the biggest Raptor stealers that exist in this game. So you always have to account for early Raptor invades, also late after Raptor invades, and keep track of Raptor respawn timers on both sides.
Sheiden's going to try and run away with this game. I feel like all the lanes need that to be the case, but he needs push from all of his lanes as well. This is yet another Dignitas team composition with very poor snap engage, so they need to win through controlling the waves to get first set up onto objectives and probably win through a Dragon Soul.
So it's been a while since we've seen things like Tristana, even like Aphelios Lulu. What do we think the odds are that Dignitas can get that priority in lanes will be the question on everyone's mind. But as Impact's running away from Srtty right here, we actually have Emily standing by with an interview with Coach Rigby.
Hello, thank you. And looking at this draft, there was the Flex Tristana coming through from Red Side. Did you expect that? Because you had prepped a lot of top lane bans. Did you expect the Sylas Flex?
Pretty sure it's not their comfortable pick. Like, it's like game 4 Fearless, so many champions are gone, so they're just like looking at the comp and probably picking it, but it's gonna be fine for us, I feel like, but rather than like the other matchup the Impact's way much more comfortable at.
Do you think you have an advantage with champion flexibility against Team Liquid?
I mean, our plan going into this series was basically like taking out all the champions that they have and then like every game 10 champions are out for them, not for us. So I think it's like going good, and then it just comes down to like skill in general. Like it doesn't feel like it, but we're versing the champion, and then we want to go to the top 4, then we have to be able to like contest in skill levels. So hoping that happens.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time. We'll chuck it back to casters.
Awesome to hear the thought from the coaching staff, just saying, okay, it's not something we see Impact play a lot of. We're going to assume that that's not the comfortable wheelhouse. But I will say, easy for a coach to say, for Srtty actually having a lane against him, a reminder, this is his first playoffs appearance, first year competing at Tier 1. So yes, you know, you can say Impact might not have as much recent experience, but Srtty also definitely going to be catching up to Impact a little bit in that experience department.
Yeah, for sure. And to Rigby's point, definitely not a champion that you would traditionally see Impact on. He'll need to have a lot of split push pressure if he wants to get enough gold to have impact on teamfights on the Sylas. But the coolest thing about that interview to me was him saying that their plan for the series was to just ban 10 TL champions every single game. We kind of saw that with the things that they've been picking Maokai early on.
Yep.
And also the fact that APA is effectively out of champions by this stage. But they have to win this game if they want that strategy to really work. And it's a game where they have very low engage, and I think has set it up in a situation where Sheiden kind of has to carry.
Yeah, they have run out of games to lose in Fearless and to burn on champion Fearless bans.
They're scaling. They're scaling in the series. Yeah.
But it is all about hitting that break point. So we are going to have a cross back for Sheiden back up to the top side grab, knowing that TL bot lane has full control here. So easy stuff there for Yuuji just to finish off bottom side. And they've got the wards at both entrances.
Yeah, and to touch back on Team Liquid's place right here, they need to win 4 straight best-of-5s to win Split 2. But you know what? They have been here before. The 2024 Spring Upper Bracket, they lost round 1 to FlyQuest, and then ran the bracket against Dignitas in the first round through 100 Thieves. That could happen. See, that could happen too. And they could also play Fly in the finals again. So that's a question. Could it happen again?
So you're saying they're set up for success.
A flat circle, Jatt.
You never know. It's been just over a year. It says TBD, but you know it could be exactly those same teams if they improve and win this split.
And it's interesting because when we got to interview Spawn after that last game, Srtty actually taking a rough trade there against Impact. But when we got to interview Spawn, he was saying that they don't think that they are in championship winning form right now. So he's actually, maybe it's a little cope, but he did say they're happy to drop down into the lower bracket as Srtty really struggling versus Impact here. Doesn't have to flash, just wallops away. But he had used the TP already, so this is not a great spot for Srtty right now.
It's not the best. He itemized early Null Magic as well, which is going to make him weaker against the rest of Team Liquid, who's all AD. So if Impact can make him... Oh, he's going
APA jumps in, rocket jump forward. Keine forces the flash out of APA, who didn't quite have the damage for the kill.
Whoops. Sorry. Yeah, it's always a funny one when you're rocket jumping in and then you're like, oh, a Q coming my way. Didn't have the exact cooldown timer on that one, I guess. But you know where Sheiden might be looking now since Tristana flashed down for a large portion. And when Lillia does have flash and level 6 available, which will be a few more camps for Sheiden, but will still be available before that flash comes back up. Maybe you can make a play.
And also, Dignitas wouldn't be here, I think, if it wasn't for Sheiden. I want to call back to when he had this Olaf game against Lion. This was game 3. It was later in a Fearless draft. It was a pick that we haven't seen that much of, and he was able to just create power farm and become this beast, this unstoppable beast in the late game. I feel like even though this isn't as nice of an angle, Lillia's probably not great against like Lulu Aphelios. He's solo AP on an all AD team, and I think Keine needs to have an exceptional game in order for their split to stay alive.
Can be these unique kind of jungle champ pools that can get Dignitas a victory yet again. As we see, the Dragon was started up here by Yuuji. So Sheiden's still just power farming, look for that level 6 before trying to contest.
Yeah. And I think that's the correct play on Lillia in this game. You're kind of going to have to trade a few objectives for gold on Lillia. If he can start to get some counter jungling, it would be best. But I say Yuuji's timing on this is exceptional. Sheiden's gotten nothing. He sees the respawn of Krugs now, but has already spent a lot of time up here. It's a bit greedy to stick around.
Also respawn of the buff. So let's see if Yuuji just runs right there. Looks like he's actually on the bottom scuttle, if I can see that correctly on the mini-map, and he's going to go for reset. So I think Sheiden will actually get a buff steal.
Yeah, he for sure will get up there. I'm kind of wondering what is he going to do afterwards, though.
Gotta leave.
Because there's not a lot of extra options. Then he'd probably just go into another re-clear of his own side. Impact right now is actually not trading as heavily as he previously was. I think this is something that is worth noting, that he isn't always like front and center, where before, when he had the camera on Impact, he was always trading with this Gnar, getting stuff out of Srtty. But when Yuuji's on Dragon and TL know, hey, you're weak side now, this is something Impact does well, and so he played safe. Sheiden does come back, and so it's 2 camps in payment for the Dragon.
Yeah, I like that call from Keine to back up Sheiden. They see that Yuuji's clearing the ward, then goes towards the Krub, so they say, okay, we can actually get the Raptors that get Sheiden level 6.
Yeah, Raptor to Raptor, maximizing his Raptor clearing ability, but he's down 10 CS currently. He has all his camps up, though, so as long as he clears them, he'll be up. So I would just say Yuuji's done a nice job early game on the Sejuani, keeping this game neutralized and getting objectives.
And we are swapping for the grubs right now. Bottom lane's heading over. Impact does have teleport, as does Srtty. So we could bring all members if they actually want to fight, but the vision control, as the observers are expertly toggling our vision, show TL's early move over there, gives them this big advantage. And they've got a Sejuani ult, so it is very scary to check into vision control at this moment for Dignitas.
And in terms of which team is chilling the most in a 0-0 game, I kind of think it's going to be TL, because they have the tank. Sylas can also be relatively tanky later in the game with the Rod of Ages build. And I just think the Aphelios Lulu can become so powerful against this team of squishies who can't get through the frontline Sejuani. So I think Team Liquid is just very happy keeping these lanes the way they are, as long as they don't get all in.
Getting aggressive. They see that there's... Okay, they also have the bowling ball behind them with the Lillia, and there's a little lullaby coming down. Sleep onto Core and Yeon, but just not enough damage from the Colleen. Tomo cannot get a kill.
Yeah, wakes him up there, and so they get some damage done, but that's going to be it on the top side. Honestly, bottom side has been a lot of exchanges of grass procs too.
What are we at for grass
no like
procs?
super meaningful difference. Otherwise,
14 uses for Gnar and 7 uses for Sylas.
Okay. Yes, but
if you factor in the range versus melee.
Yeah, exactly. You get the less value on the range ones. So how many
were Mega Gnar? Nobody know.
Yeah. Yeah, let's.
Well, we could actually
Leo, we could
actually look at the max health gained.
42 for Gnar.
And go off of that.
42 for Gnar.
35.
So most are ranged. Most are ranged.
Yeah. All right.
These are the things that happen when it's 0-0, 10 minutes into the game, and Dignitas has no engage.
They have no way to start off the fight. They tried that top side, and that was, the bowling ball landing. But if that doesn't land, there's no way to actually get onto Yeon and Core. They didn't even have to burn much, so... Yeah, strap in, everybody. I'm expecting this to just turn into another game where Dragons and Heralds are what dictate when action happens.
Definitely agree there, especially with how well it's going for Yeon on this Aphelios. I mean, you mentioned Aphelios plus Lulu could be the powerhouse that determines this game. It's said a lot here with Team Liquid as far as those specific players, but also comp-wise here. CoreJJ currently, though, has found himself a new AD carry.
And you know what?
To protect.
We talked earlier, the last time that Dig beat Team Liquid in a best of series was 2017. CoreJJ won a world championship in 2017, playing a lot of Lulu.
That's a good point, actually.
With Ardent Sensor.
As, Srtty and Impact trading a little bit there. Also technically was on Dignitas at one point. That was before the Worlds.
Wait, he didn't win Worlds on Dignitas?
He did not win Worlds on Dignitas, as Srtty's not winning this fight. Impact forces the ult.
I gotta say, we haven't seen this matchup in a while, but the Catalyst is just giving him such insane sustain. It's giving him permanent pressure on the Gnar. Impact's making this pick look really good early.
So much for that. He's probably not going to be confident on it. And I think it does speak to what you were saying. Maybe Impact was a little tongue-in-cheek with it, but he was saying, I want to pull out new things. We'll see how late this series goes. This is definitely a better look for Impact than we've seen so far in this split. He has had a rough split. There was some criticism for him being in that third pro, as Yeon takes another Colleen right there. Should be able to get out fine.
Yeah, he's got his red gun too. Leech up on these minions. He's getting turret plate money. Yeon is the major gold lead, not major, but like the biggest one that they do have. So that's definitely where they want their goal. They want it to be focused, but the dragon here actually is going to start some combat.
Yep, Dignitas started off, and like you said, Gnar, but it's popped early. So they're going to have to try and just burst down this dragon while they still have the threat of it. Yuuji's now here with APA and Impact behind him. No bot laners will be present, and that is dragon secured by Srtty of all players. Dignitas get the objective, as now can they get out of the pit? It's going to come down to flashes. That's a flash from Sheiden, Keine, and Srtty jump.
I mean, they're okay with that. They didn't want to take a 3v3. It would have been relatively close, but they'd already burned the Lillia ultimate, so nice to flash out.
Oh, and there's the red gun from Yeon. He's ready for the fight. Wild Growth, or rather CoreJJ ulting Yeon right there, but Tomo's still fancying the fight, chasing forward with the press the attack. Big damage onto Yeon. CoreJJ has to flash as well. Isles kicking him back. The 2v2 going the way of Dignitas.
Oh, yeah, they do both have to burn flashes. Yeon and CoreJJ also, they move up past the minion wave, past the tower to do it. So there are minions dying while they're doing it. 2 flashes, though, is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a huge opening. Maybe Dignitas, see if they can actually punish that opening now, though.
Yeah, I'm mixed on whether or not that was a really aggressive play by Team Liquid or if they were bored. Because they had been winning the lane, and I can see why they're pushed that far up to get a lot of plates. And then once they're kind of proxying, they think, hey, maybe we can just win this all in. We have red-white. Normally red-white don't fight was the old saying with the Aphelios. They had the Lulu wall. I think they thought they could win that fight a lot harder. But I'd say Tomo ended up getting a really nice culling off.
Completed item as well. I think it was big for Tomo there. Had the Essence Reaver, so Dignitas able to not get a kill, but at least show that they are ready to scrap in this 2v2.
They need to fight back. I mean, they're down 20 CS and a number of plates. It's 1,000 gold advantage for the Aphelios now, the longer range AD carry. Very powerful. There does come a state in the game where if the Lucian can get far enough ahead, he can really punish the Aphelios because you can dash and basically one-shot him. But before then, it's very difficult against the Lulu and a fed Aphelios.
Yeah, also looking for some poke there on to CoreJJ. Stops Yeon's back. Yeon was looking for a reset there, so I'd imagine close to, if not at, a completed item for himself. 55 seconds until that Herald spawns, though, and because of the lack of hard engage from Dignitas, expectation is it will be around these objectives. There was no big fight at that dragon. Dignitas were able to get it and then get out. Now no flash on Sheiden for that Herald fight because of how the dragon looked.
Mikhail's rush here for CoreJJ. Some extra safety does come in to like help them out, especially while they're waiting for these flashes to come back up. And I think if they can wait out this flash timer for them both to come back up without getting punished afterwards, then retroactively, I do like that, you know, moving up past the big minion wave, getting all, you know, all this turret play money and going through, but we'll see if they can just stay safe in mid lane, continue to farm it up.
I'll also say that one of the only forms of engage that Dig have was going to be Lillia's Sleep. Mikhail's is just so overpowered against Lillia's Sleep because you don't even need to like wait until the sleep lands. Like he casts the button and it starts channeling for 3 seconds. At any point during those 3 seconds, Mikhail's the guy, he won't go to sleep. So it's one of the easiest execution item counters to Lillia you can get in the game.
So you can save one person, whether that means that you'll save
the
rest of the team. Yeah, it's going to be on. It's going to be on. True, true. But if multiple members get hit, I guess that means target selection becomes important for Dignitas. As right now, the target selection for Team Liquid is this bottom turret and Srtty under it. APA with 1 Lulu shield will just take Srtty below half health. Not even interested in killing this turret immediately. It's Keine and Impact now in a 1v1 here. Impact stealing the Corki ultimate, throwing out some rockets. Funny animation right there.
Yeah. Keine runs out of rockets, otherwise...
Chest rocket!
Yeah, boom! Like a transformer. It's great. But doesn't mean a kill either way there. I'm surprised, though, that Team Liquid didn't just focus on the turret. Maybe they thought that they could kill Srtty underneath the turret and then take the objective as well. Maybe they just don't even think that taking the turret is worth that much. Who's to say?
I think they're just going to get the turret on the next wave anyway. Like, they have him in jail here down in the bot lane. There's not even many camps that Yuuji's losing while protecting this. Maybe they'll give up the Rift Herald, but this has always been worth it for Team Liquid to get gold onto APA. Tristana was one of his most played when Team Liquid went undefeated in the regular season of 2024 summer, so it's a style they're really used to playing.
The classic wait 5 seconds and the answer, or the question will be answered. As now Herald up for Dignitas here. Team Liquid are teleporting in. That's APA joining up, so that scares away Dignitas. They will back off the Herald. No kills! 16 minutes, 40 seconds in. Team Liquid will get themselves another objective.
Yeah, honestly, too, I think they should be able to rotate over to the Dragon afterwards. They've got almost the perfect timing here. You know, the Dragon now going to be like 15 seconds. They can finish up this Rift Herald. They're already teleporting behind bottom lane.
Impact has Gnar ult too. He took it,
but he's
from
all
Gnar,
alone.
The top lane.
He's alone. There's no TP from APA, so Dignitas, they actually don't want to collapse onto it. There was a small window where if they had spotted that, maybe they'd go for it.
Okay, Sejuani's going for a topside play instead of coming down to counter the Dragon here. So they want the tower money instead. Money above all else for Team Liquid, for APA.
Srtty does hit Mega. Ooh, dodges out. Oops. Little side step there as Yuuji misses. And now flash out from APA. Srtty went in aggressively, but this turret is falling. Now he's going to be all alone. So it is the kill traded. Gold over to Team Liquid as they'll run the Herald into another turret.
That's even more gold since they got the kill and the turret that they were already in for. So, like, if gold above all is the strat here, that is going well. They got even more than they bargained for.
Here comes the money for
Team Liquid. Keine teleports in to prevent the second turret going down, but that is, I think, a great trade for Team Liquid. It is enabled because Yuuji picked up the first Drake, so it's not like that put them on Soul point. We know that one of the only ways that Dig wins this game is through getting Soul, since they have such poor engage. So if TL makes himself too strong, Impact with the flank.
Not quite able to land the chains, but they get the engage onto Isles all the same. Yeon with the kill credit. Team Liquid find the play as Sheiden jumps in there. Now back away. Team Liquid will push down another turret. That is all outer turrets claimed along with the kill onto Isles.
Impact's having a lot of fun. Yeon having a lot of fun too. He gets the white gun ult, stacks his chakrams like crazy, and he's able to just become this just basically standing turret that will win any team fight that happens.
Yep, and now he's super rich now too, so he's going back to spend a whole bunch of it. This is going to be very difficult for Dignitas with all the outer towers now down. All these wards, you can see already the wards are creeping into your territory. Your jungle resources then start to get pillaged and taken away. And so the income now for Dignitas is also going to slow down here as it becomes harder and harder for them to rotate between these objectives.
Srtty finds Impact, but doesn't want to take the extended trade. A little PSA for anybody who's not caught up on some of the fun UI advancements. You see this little bar in the middle there? It's all red. That means Team Liquid's ahead in gold everywhere on the Rift right now. Now, I know top lane's a little close, but the big one is Yeon. 1.6 thousand gold ahead of Tomo. As Tomo did just complete a second item, so maybe you can argue that he has the 2 completed, bigger spike right now, but overall, things looking great for Yeon.
Flashes over the wall. Misses his E, doesn't matter. Can still just kill Isles. Then Yeon landing that ultimate nearly kills Tomo here with all the chakrams that fly out at the end. Man, I kind of miss Aphelios. I don't miss him every game, but every once in a while.
Isles rooted up. Yeon could be in some trouble, though. The calling does come through. Yuuji flashing to tank it for him as Tomo doesn't want to fully commit for the play.
It is kind of cool because Aphelios was always so heavily criticized. He's the original 200 years meme.
He is.
It was because of Aphelios.
Yeah.
But now everyone's cool with him. Everyone's cool, and they even like him.
Yeah. Every champion since then is more than 200 years of experience, so it's just outclassed.
What are we at now, like
Zeri,
500? Okay.
There's a lot of experience on the team as Yeon right now with his 200 years is walking up onto Keine. Has CoreJJ in his back pocket. Takes a big chunk, but has red-white. Strong position for Team Liquid right now as Impact is taking a big chunk from Srtty right now.
Yeah, Team Liquid has to back away. This is a terrible start to the fight. They could actually throw away their lead in this moment. Impact takes a bad trade. Srtty gets a lot of map pressure, and then the poke that they were able to get down onto Yeon pulls them off. So they actually lose a lot of map pressure. This is a big moment for Dig to try and reestablish some type of really anything. Like, they need either gold. They need gold on Srtty. They need to get a turret. They're in a tough spot, Kobe.
Yeah, the problem is, the only thing really sticking out on the map is Otacon, and that thing is way too high of an investment. You know, it's going to shred everybody. It takes so long to take. The outer tower is still up there for TL. So you I think you have to, you know how they say set reasonable expectations or reasonable goals?
Yeah.
Let's go for, one of the side outer towers.
Yes.
Okay.
Will be
baby steps.
The next goal.
And even that one is pretty hard.
Pretty long.
Because, again, TL just keep they have the benefit of being able to make the first move because they took over the map so early. And because Yeon is so fed here with CoreJJ in the mid lane, you have guaranteed mid lane priority.
Yeah.
You're like, Tomo doesn't have a tower to fall back onto, so they're like back off. We're like, oh, is Sejuani coming? Is Impact gonna flash on me again?
And he's also got that Bloodthirster plus a Lulu in his back pocket. He's got a friend with him in that mid lane. And speaking of friends, if you want to watch finals with a crowd and some friends around you, make sure to scan that QR code on screen because we're partnering with Regal. But in the mid lane right now, we do have action as Tomo's getting aggressive onto Yeon. No longer has the red as Yuuji finds the ultimate onto Tomo, but he is just fine. Now Impact caught away. Breath of Life is available, but that's just going to heal him up as Dignitas look to chase him down. Impact does get away to the safety of the jungle. Has the team behind him. Dignitas cannot find the kill.
Looked like a stolen Milio ultimate also helps them back away from that, but that's signs of life for Dignitas. 20 seconds before this next Drake trying to get onto Soul Point. They have flashes on their carries, and they have a bit of setup in mid.
Tomo again, every time he jumps forward with that E. Now Yuuji engages onto Keine, has to Valkyrie over the wall. Team Liquid posturing for a fight. Dragon just spawned.
No Sejuani ult right now for TL, so they don't have that to start it out. Dignitas are trying to use this Mega Gnar to bully their way in.
That's how the last game was lost. They started Drake.
Kaine's teleporting in into the pit. Team Liquid now going over the pit with Yuuji. Yuuji might just look for the steal. Arctic Assault in with the smite could be it. Dignitas taking a lot of damage here on the side from the likes of Yeon, from the likes of APA.
Srtty lost Mega, Impact got it.
Yep, that's Team Liquid, the core four pushing away Dignitas while Yuuji just walks around, smites the dragon. Team Liquid denies Soul Point.
Yeah, good job. They kind of move around the outside, wait out the Gnar, and once he goes back to Mini, plus the chunk of extra damage, Impact is actually stopping.
They're going Otacon. Yeah, Impact stopping the backs. Even if he dies, as long as they get the Otacon, it's got to be worth the flashes over the wall. In goes Keine. Impact just trying to buy time for the team. Keine has to flash forward. One more auto, shut down, claimed. But Team Liquid focus on the objective.
Yeah, they'll say that's worth. Let's see, they're at 9 blossoms right now. Otacon will pick up all the remaining flowers from the map, plus make them 50% more effective.
I like it. You're like, yeah,
Over
they say that.
Well, I'm just trying to see how much power they're getting from it now. So they're getting 20 adaptive force per player. So that's a good amount of gold. That's worth the shutdown essentially onto Impact for that one. Plus they're going to get the passive of the AoE slow and current health damage every time they get a kill. In what's going to have to be explosive team fights around late objectives. So it's worth.
The first couple of interrupts were good. Think could have cut it off.
You probably could have lived.
Maybe stop it a little bit. It's all good.
Well, they didn't have TP. They were all just 3 down in the brush. Yeah, you're right. There's no way for them to actually make it up topside.
Here's an interesting thing about Impact on Champions that you don't see him that often on. So he is 4-0 on Sylas. I'd have to check exactly how he looked in these games. But I'd say this is a general trend. Like, when he was playing things like Camille and Akali in scrims back in the day, he'd be good in laning phase. Like, he'd be good in early game on these champions because he's put the time in, he's a smart player, and he has good mechanics. But then when the later game happened, because he's so hardwired to play these great flanking tanks, that's when he wouldn't be able to convert. So because he's on more of an AP carry now,
DNA.
Yeah, it's always been in the conversion into the late game where I feel like he's struggled on the picks that aren't in his core champion pool. So he's had another strong laning phase, but even with that, like, Srtty's slowly coming back here, right? Srtty has the gold lead now. Impact hasn't applied as much.
There's some blue in those bars in the middle
bit.
right now, yeah. I'll see if that sticks for very long here as the turret mid lane will fall there. Team Liquid utilizing the Tristana. It's not the Ziggs, but it's something APA has played in the past and also plays, like you had said earlier, Jatt, very similar to that Ziggs. They'll just group around APA and let him hit these turrets.
And Yeon's almost to the full 2,000 gold lead on this Aphelios now. So if an Infinity Edge shows up on my screen, I am not going near that guy.
Button?
I am not going near that guy.
Emergency meeting, we're in trouble.
TL is still very comfortable. It looks like it's a 2,000 gold lead, but it feels like more than a 2,000 gold lead because of the double AD carry scaling plus having the Sejuani front line.
And Tomo just lost that trade against APA despite having the Milio with the Cozy Campfire behind him.
Impact split push here is doing some work too. That top lane minion wave is almost all the way up to the tower, so
They can kill Baron very fast with Aphelios. Impact's just buying time again.
he's gonna finish and get the gold off the tower.
That is the little team Lullaby. He's able to buffer it a little bit here, but the damage comes through from Keine. Impact's just trying to maybe trade onto Sheiden, does not have enough, does go down. Team Liquid now onto the Baron. The rest of Dignitas are going to try and push them off. Tomo with the Breath of Life
they're not going to finish.
back up. The Baron is still available. Shaiden's over the wall. He flashes in, does not get the Baron. Yuuji secures it.
Yeah.
Can Team Liquid get out now? Yuuji getting chased down by Tomo. Everybody's flashing in, but APA keeps his jungler safe, and Team Liquid get out.
Holy moly, that was close.
Yeah.
Sheiden almost was able to get in there in time to take it. But yeah, TL, they calculated every
Easy.
aspect of that play.
Down to the wire.
Wow. I
But
mean,
also down to the book.
they traded massively gold up. They got the inner turret for impact, and then this Baron, but man, this is close. Aphelios burns it with these guns, but Yeon doesn't want to go to the back of the pit and flash out, so he ends up leaving early, and then it's just AP and Yuuji, and they don't have enough damage. Sheiden,
I'm giving her all she's got.
Flash, he wants to appear,
Oh!
Gosh. That is so close.
Yeah, I mean, he was in there. That's just Yuuji. Good job securing that under pressure.
Not smiting early. When the damage slows down so much, the tendency, I think, can be that you're expecting a little bit of damage come. Maybe you try and combo your spells early.
Ooh, but it's actually impacting the side lane yet again right now, but he's just hard comboing on to Keine. Flashes in, will get the kill.
He got
Have
it.
to work for it.
Impact's good for one, even in the 2v1 on the side lane. So the rest of the TL with that Baron buff, they're going to go right through this tower.
Yeah, they want a lot right now. Yeon not having IE yet, but he does have the Bloodthirster Overshield, the Barrier, and the Lulu Shield. He didn't burn any summoners in that last Baron, so they're very confident pushing up to this next turret.
And Tomo has no flash, so it's very dangerous for him to walk up when Yuuji has the Glacial Prison. Yes, you have Breath of Life in your back pocket from Isles, but still going to be tough, as they have to just watch as their inhibitor will go down. How much more do Team Liquid want right now? They have Baron and Power Cannon. They're just engaging on the Isles, just blown up. Team Liquid take one turret, looking for another one. Teleport in from Srtty. I don't think Dignitas were ready for this one. Team Liquid were inevitable. It was more than 3 games, but the 3TL1 were dominant. Team Liquid look to make another lower bracket run happen, as they will push in the waves, take out Keine under the fountain. Do they want to die for the kills, die for the KDA? They don't need it. Team Liquid take the series.